we're taking your health back with Anthony Chrisco. I'm guest hosting Wendy Lowe, who is out on a business trip. And we're coming to you live from the studios of Think Tech Hawaii in downtown Honolulu and from my home office in Mililani. Today, my guest is Dhevahn Keith, founder of the Lunar Vibes Community Retreat and an incredible musician and fire dancer and just an all-around incredible human being. Well, welcome, Devin Keith. How are you today?
I'm doing great. I'm joining you from Golden Light Studios by Jerome James.
All right, and a wonderful percussionist, if I do say so myself. So, Devin, the purpose of me inviting you to today's show is because you have started something that everyone said you couldn't be able to do. And that was to have a community treat that was free from alcohol, of all things. Now, I met you last year after my friend JP Palmieri invited me to my first Lunar Vibes a couple years ago. Now, I was honored to become a curator of the event and teach my Fascinator workshop to a new crowd. How did this whole concept of a community retreat start in the first place?
Well, it started when I encountered what you would say community campouts that was in the wild. You might say in the beach, in the forest. But at that time when I saw it was unsustainable. It usually was dependent on a few people that were basically carrying the financial burdens of having it happen. And so Lunar Vibes is essentially a crowdsourced, sustainable version of those old campouts.
Wow, amazing. And if I can say so myself, when you say crowdsourced, I mean, we all contribute. Everyone's contributing to the cleanliness, the safety, the happiness, the food, the activities. And, after my first Lunar Vibes, I said, this is it. I found my tribe. Not only did I come away feeling healed and relaxed and enthused with, wow, there are people out there who know how to have fun without going crazy. I saw families. I saw good food, vegan diets. I had kombucha. We had cold brew coffee. We had everything we needed in one place. We didn't have to go anywhere. Everyone was the shepherd of everyone else, taking care of everyone else. Now, as this amazing event started growing, I also noticed that the organization and teamwork required to have such an amazing and successful event also needed to grow. Mm-hmm. Can you give us an overview of what the next Lunar Vibes event at the end of this month is going to look like? I mean, besides my Fascinator rolling workshop, what other activities and events will be offered?
So Lunar Vibes has a very set but evolving formula depending on its community members. And the key is it is a alcohol-free, hard substance-free event that has mandatory consent that is crowdsourced and curated by different event organizers. So in this one, we have Friday night, which is acoustic music by Jigan Fei, and finished by a special performance, Secret Band. And then on Saturday, we have workshops the entire day. That is yoga, meditation, heart eye gazing. We have taiko drums coming to the night, Japanese taiko drums. We have quadraphonics coming to play again. And of course, Dance Oasis, which is the conscious rave that we have developed over the years. And it has everything a rave has, except for those elements that we wanted to remove so that our families can come and have fun in a clean and safe environment.
And yes, can I just say, my entire family has joined me on these weekend camping excursions. My wife, my son, my daughter. And, during the day, my daughter joined us in the meditation. And then we had the sound bowls. And we even had a thing, what do we call that? Ho'oponopono. Can you give me a little more on the Ho'oponopono? What does that do for people? And what does that even mean for those that don't know?
Well, I'm not an expert. I do have Hawaiian blood, but I have been disconnected with my Hawaiian roots for a very long time. But I can tell you what limited knowledge I have with respect to this culture. Ho'oponopono is a way of reconnecting with people that you have disconnected from, whether it be conflict, whether it be a misunderstanding. It is a way to move forward with aloha together.
Oh, yes, the word aloha. And I gotta say, I know that is the strongest vibe that I feel at every single Lunar Vibes event. Aloha, as we know, can mean goodbye, can mean hello, but in the terms of Lunar Vibes, it means I love you. And never before have I been engaged in such an event where everyone is there, is nice, and is truly genuine and wants to get to know you and wants to befriend you and wants to know, like, what are you about and what can I learn from you? So I'm curious, how did you, as the founder of all this, how did you get these people to gravitate towards you? I mean, are there other things you do during the week that help get the word out about these larger events?
Well, the core of Lunar Vibes is that it is a buffet of everything the community has to offer. Whether that be the fascinator workshop that you offer, whether that be yoga, the ecstatic dance, or poetry. Slam poetry has become an integral part of Lunar Vibes, for example, has always been part of the vision. Essentially, there's a symbiotic relationship between Lunar Vibes and all these other events. So when you come to Lunar Vibes, you're immediately exposed to all these different arts. And that's the point. We don't want necessarily just observers or audience. We want the audience to turn into artists. So a lot of audiences have converted into some sort of art. They come over there, oh, I didn't even know there was a slam poetry scene. I didn't even know there was an ecstatic dance. And so after Lunar Vibes, they will follow these curators or like your workshop and follow you to your own events outside of Lunar Vibes. And that is the core being. One of the core principles of the Lunar Vibes retreat is that it is symbiotically creating this cascade of relationships between the arts. There's a fire dancer who's now a slam poet that becomes a fire dancer, you know, and it is this wonderful symbiotic relationship that I with all these other curators are now nurturing. Okay.
I love how you say that, a symbiotic cascade. And, you know, I know one of the main catalysts of that was your fire spinning event on Wednesdays. Is that correct? It's on Wednesdays. And where can that be found if people that are watching want to check it out?
That's correct. So one of the core things that created Lunar Vibes is Trial by Fire, which is this Wednesday every week event over at Natatorium Caymanes at 5:15 p.m. on Wednesdays. So we teach class, and then we teach fire safety, which is one of the core principles of fire dancing. Is you got to know how to be fire safe. You have to be able to troubleshoot if something goes wrong, because if you play with fire, you get burned. And then we burn or demonstrate our art until 9 p.m. for free to the public. We also have Sundays at Queens Beach by Barefoot Cafe, the same timeline, 5:15 p.m. to 9 p.m. And in conjunction to those two events also promote other events like Ecstatic Dance on Friday at Kapilani Park by Liam and Sage.
And then if I remember right, Liam is also a spoken word extravaganza fashionista. He can go on and on and on with the most intelligent lyrics I've ever heard.
Yes, I think it's important to note that the slam poetry scene in Hawaii is top in the nation. In fact, Liam Skelling is a poet laureate. I hope I'm saying that correctly, but that is one of the highest prestigious for a slam poet.
Great. Now, his wife, Sage, she also does sound healing. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me more about what is sound healing and why is it so popular? And, you know, what is it about for those of people who have yet to be exposed to these amazing different types of arts?
It's scientifically proven that certain vibrations causes a healing or meditative state to people. You might say that it is able to help us get into a meditative state or equilibrium. And sound healing is just that. It is certain frequencies like the sound bowls or gong or melodic singing without actual words. And it instills in a certain part of our consciousness or a vibration that it causes us to relax. Okay. These are, yeah. Okay.
And you know, with regards to fire spinning for yourself, I've watched you for years, and I always said, man, that guy's really good. He's so smooth, and he's so, like, there's no mistakes. And at the same time, you're also very focused on the safety of others around you. So, you know, besides love, the love of spinning fire, what do you get out of spinning fire? And what have others told you when they start learning about fire and how it stimulates them?
Well, I will tell you, I make a lot of mistakes. I just learn from it. And a lot of times you see me, you've seen the result of me learning from my mistakes. I think the most important part is the way I teach it. I fuse martial arts, dance, and theater. And so in my classes, you can see that sort of discipline and that I instill into the new fire dancers. And so a lot of fire dancers, besides the exercise, the meditative state, in which I call movement meditation, there's a part where you go into the flow or the state of flow. Scientifically, it's the part where you are no longer technically consciously doing your movement, but it's coming out from your subconscious, and you go to this state of flow, just like with a runner's high. When a runner goes in and they have the runner's high, is that kind of feeling. And besides that, is the community aspect that comes from these people that are intentionally coming together to nurture, practice, and propagate this art. That's what a lot of people say. And then when they come into the fire circle, is that they feel that they're a part of a ohana, they're a part of a family that cares for them. Yeah.
That's right. And, my friend Michelle Lee, she did the yoga at the last Lunar Vibes for us. Mm-hmm. She's actually, she sent me a video. She goes, "Look, Anthony, I'm spinning my first fire." So I can attest, she's one of these people who she loves the environment and she always wanted to try it. And now in her late 40s, she's out there trying these things that she never tried before. And I think that's what living is all about, is coming out of our shells, learning to open up ourselves and be vulnerable and to learn, to make mistakes, to grow. And that's what has happened with me as well, because if you know me, I've been focused on this fascia thing for over a decade, and people know, like, oh, don't talk to him. All he cares about is fascia. But, I want to let you know personally, because of Lunar Vibes, I've expanded my horizons. I want to learn more about the fire and the sound and the spoken word and the Ho'oponopono. It actually helped me with some healing things regarding my parents because I lost them. So it was very good. Now, let's see. What else can we talk about? Let's talk about the musical guest that's going to be at this month's Lunar Vibes. And can we also talk about the location that we're going to have this event at?
The new retreat center, Wailua Retreat, which is located in Waialua by Haleiwa, is a 4-acre newly developed area for Lunar Vibes and all other community events. And it's primarily developed by JP Palmieri. Like, literally, this is raw land that was bulldozed by him, and we put grass over there, and now we're developing it into space where we can grow as a community. What was the original question? I'm sorry.
It happened. The musical guest this month.
Yes.
The big one.
So some of the big ones, of course, is Quadraphonics. Jonathan and Shri, they were part of the people that started Onking Art Center, which I was born as an artist. And they have been a staple for Lunar Vibes. And they're amazing percussionists, world type of music fusion. And then we have Jagan Fei, who is a very, how can I describe it? He's a very smooth, very elegant, very powerful singer that will really touch a certain emotional strings in people that hear him. And of course, we have our DJs who have been curating music specifically for Lunar Vibes. As you know, it is primarily tribal, and it's not your usual EDM music that you would go to certain clubs. It's intentional, it's curated, it's there for more of connection than just getting lost in the music.
Great. All right. Now, I can tell you, I've been watching JP and his wife, Tomoko. They've been bulldozing all that junk out of there. I know they're putting in drainage pipes for flushing toilets and showers. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. I myself was there just 2 days ago cutting grass, and I'll be there leading into Lunar Vibes. It's a community event. Everybody is literally hands-on. Just because I'm a performer, just because I am the person that created, doesn't mean I don't get my hands dirty. I literally build bathrooms, build showers for people, and cut grass.
That's right.
More so other people than I am, because I don't have the technical know-how, but I help.
Yeah, and what I like also, again, we talked about how everyone contributes and volunteers. Well, as curators, we're able to invite people. So, Devin, tell us, if someone who never heard of this wants to come, how does one go about wanting to attend one of these amazing events?
So Lunar Vibes was really the brunt of Lunar Vibes started during the pandemic, where it was very invite only, so that we can protect ourselves and we can vet the people that are coming, and more health reasons, emotional reasons, but also we want to make sure that the people that we invite are that vibe, because just because we say no alcohol doesn't mean the person that you're inviting is going to respect that. And so it's up to the curators, who are also event organizers themselves, within their events, to invite people to this. So you can't just buy a reservation; you have to have an access code. And for example, you have an access code, and I hold you responsible for the people that you invite.
That's right. That's right.
Exactly.
And that's how we keep the riffraff out and the quality human beings in, right? And
Yep. Yeah, there are no strangers at Lunar Vibes. There are no randoms. There are only people that are friends and family.
And that's key for having a good family focused good time.
Mhm.
Now,
I do want to make a distinction between Lunar Vibes Retreat and the upcoming Lunar Vibes Festival. The Lunar Vibes Retreat is meant for the community, and it's entirely that, invite only. However, the Lunar Vibes Festival that's happening in October, okay, that will be open to the public, because that's when our community that's been experimenting with all these artistic endeavors for the last 3 years will finally get to show off. Okay.
all right, I can't wait for that. And I think at this point, after 3 years, we know how to do it right.
I hope so.
Now, the term glamping comes to mind when we talk about lunar vibes. And glamping, well, what is that? Think like glamorous camping. We have flushing toilets, hot showers, good food, vegan options. We have, well, I know I have a big tent. I went ahead and I knew this was going to be a long-term thing. I invested in a big tent where you could stand up in it. Some people refer to my tent as the mansion, but
Wow.
it's just a 10 by 10 thing. But the whole idea is camping doesn't mean you necessarily have to get dirty. I mean, you can get dirty, but you don't have to. This glamping thing, though, we got good food, we got good entertainment, we got good everything there, and good people. Now, I know, again, from my experience, I've found a lot of my own healing at these events. Can you give us more specific stories of people who, people maybe they've had some really big things they had to overcome? And I'm just curious, as being Devin, are there some stories that stick out in your mind of people who found the healing and were able to become better people because of Lunar Vibes?
What I would say, as you know, I don't make money off this, and what really keeps me going are the stories the guests come and tell me. And I think two of them. One is a single mom that brought her 7 and now 9-year-old daughter to Lunar Vibes for a long time, and she told me, I never thought I'd be able to have fun like this again, because I didn't know where I can bring my daughter. And her daughter is now part of Lunar Vibes and has been growing there and is protected. I mean, the mother is dancing like she was when she was young, and she feels like this is okay because of the intention and the cleanliness of from the hard substances that this conscious rave in Lunar Vibes during the night that happens. The second one, of course, are those people they want the fire, they want the DJ music, they want the live music. But the art scene usually has all these very harmful substances like cocaine and ketamine and unmitigated drinking of alcohol. Now, I believe that people shouldn't be going to jail for those things, but I feel that we need an option for those things not to be there so that we can have fun in a way that doesn't harm us. And so there's a lot of people that's come to me and say, hey, I did not realize I can go to a rave and not have those substances. I did not realize I can have so much fun and be safe, have so much fun and just enjoy each other without the need for what you might say, social lubricant.
Right. Good one. Social lubricant. And yes, again, we have fun, but guess what? There's no sleeping in. There's no sleeping in. We wake you guys up in the morning at 7 a.m. is yoga. At 8 a.m. is Fashionator. So we don't really you can sleep in if you want, but I tell you what, you don't want to miss these activities. Everyone wakes up, and that's the cool part of these conscious activities is you're not waking up the next morning a train wreck. You wake up refreshed, revived, and ready to learn and explore and just become a better human being. And again, that's why I really wanted to talk to you in depth about this event, because I remember when you first started doing this, there were people who were like, "Oh, you can't do this without alcohol. Who do you think you are?" And again, we're not being better than anyone. We're all the same. But again, like you said, we're providing a cleaner option so we can have our cheeky, so we can share these experiences of the arts and music with our younger families. And again, I gotta say, my hat's off to you for that. Now, let me ask you a question. Everyone wants to know about after the daytime activities, right? It's always nice to relax and have fun and dance the night away. But this is where I want to take a moment and recognize the two men who put their heart and soul into every event, just like you do. Their names are Corey Rockwell and JP Palmieri. Now, I've known JP for a long, long time. I was the best man at his wedding. And I can tell you, he has rebuilt himself from the ashes. And I'm proud to say he's my friend and brother, just like I'm sure you are proud to say he's your friend and brother. And I've never seen a guy work so hard and not just chase a dream, but make a vision become reality. And I think when you two got together, that was the end of the old days and the beginning of the good days. Can you tell us a little more about Corey and JP and how they fit into your world?
Corey Rockwell was the first man that believed in my outrageous vision of Lunar Vibes. When everybody else was laughing about the idea of having these, because people were having successful campouts, people were coming all the time. But again, they had alcohol, they had cocaine, they had ketamine, they had all these harmful substances, and women was getting sexually harassed all the time. And I was like, I want to take this concept and remove those things so that my friends don't get hurt. Their children doesn't have to grow up in those areas and in those type of environment. And Corey Rothwell was there literally with his Toyota Tacoma and with basically building all the infrastructure with me and the sound system and DJing. He's an amazing DJ. And if it wasn't for Corey Rothwell, we would not have come to a point where JP Palmieri would have found us and say, I like this. I want to know more about you guys and I want to see if I can work with you guys. And if it wasn't for Corey Rothwell, JP will probably have seen me and say, "Oh, you don't have anything." But because of Corey Rothwell, JP saw the value of what we were doing. And he finally, after almost 2 years, we have something we call trial by fire. That's why it's called trial by fire. After a year, do we still like each other? Do we still want to work together? And JP and he put me on trial by fire too. And if it wasn't for JP, we would not have come to this point where we are ready to have a big festival in October. And so I would have to say, if it wasn't for JP and his know-how and his music and his dedication, we would not have come to this point until later on. Maybe it would have taken 5 years, but because of JP, we've come into this point. I feel that I have a lot of love and respect for people that are independent on their own. JP definitely did not need us, but he saw the value of working together. And I'm proud to call him brother. I call him dear friend. And he definitely has a heart of service. And that's basically what I'm looking for to people that I'm working with is like, where's your heart at? Do you feel happy by serving other people? Because that's what Corey Rothwell does. And that's what JP does. He serves the community through the arts, through facilitating spaces where they can have fun, enjoy, and to relive their childhood memories safely, with their families and with their kids, with their babies. There are babies that comes to Lunar Vibes. That is the kind of environment that we are facilitating and nurturing.
I love it. Well, if people want to know more about the Lunar Vibes community, are there resources people could find to get more information? I think we have a slide with the website and your email. If we can go ahead and show that, I think that would be perfect. please take a screenshot of that. And there's still time to come to our event. It's going to be the end of the month. And I'm excited to be there. And again, I was at the first one that JP was at. I remember the growth. I can attest to the hard work and the level of improvements that have happened over the last 18 months. And I am excited for the end of this month. Now, take a look. Wow, we've run out of time already. How fast time flies when we're having fun. Well, I'd like to say mahalo to Devin Keith for his insight, his vision, his hard work, and for educating us about the Lunar Vibes community event. And it is one of the best outdoor events on the island. And I'm your guest host, Anthony Chrisco. Wendy Lowe will be back in 2 weeks, and I'll see you later. Aloha.
Thank you so much for watching Think Tech Hawaii. If you like what we do, please like us and click the subscribe button on YouTube and the follow button on Vimeo. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and donate to us at thinktechhawaii.com. Mahalo.